How does the general stereotype of software engineers differ from yourself?
So, general stereotype of software engineers. I think so when I think of a software engineer, I think of probably someone more geeky, like they spend all the time coding, and so if that's a stereotype, I'm not sure what the person who asked this question means by the stereotype. But if that's a thing where you're spending all your free time coding, to trying to practice problems, I guess that's not something I do. I have some other hobbies outside of coding, such as play the violin. I do card magic. I go on walks quite often. So yeah, if the person who asked that wants to clarify what they mean by the stereotype, I can answer that better.
Great. So Rakesh asked in the chat, for this kind of work, are there more jobs in the East Coast, such as in cities like New York or here in the Bay Area?
Yeah, so if you mean by this type of work, you mean the trading industry, then the biggest hubs are New York and Chicago. That's where most of the trading firms are located. But if you're just tech company in general, then throughout the country, there's going to, especially the Bay Area is going to be a big hub. Seattle, but then there are tech companies on the East Coast and in Chicago as well. So trading companies, Chicago, New York, and tech companies, they're all over the place.
So for CS internships, is it better to value breadth, like discovering lots of different types of interests and strengths, or depth, where you might have one job for multiple years?
Yeah, I think I would not suggest staying at one company for multiple internships. I think the idea of internship is to explore things, to try out new things before you really end up at one company, because internships are, they're only a few months, and they're for you to learn. They're for you to explore things that to really try out things that that you haven't tried out before. So I think staying at one company for, say, multiple summers in a row didn't really help you achieve that as much.
So what are some day-to-day responsibilities of your job?
So I guess I'll talk about a typical workday for me. So typically it's because I'm working at a trading company, and there's going to be this market hours from 9:30 to 4 Eastern time. And so during that time, I'm working on projects. I'm able to test with the exchange and to test out if my thing's working. And and then after the market closes, so after 4 o'clock, then we have a trader meeting. We discuss what happened today and issues, what changes are going out tomorrow. And this is also when I would do code reviews, where I look at other people's codes. And because at any sort of firm, technology company, you would have your code reviews. Other people will look at your code before it goes into production. And so because I'm not able to test after market closes, that's the time I use to look at other people's code and give them feedback. So it's actually very similar to what you would do at a regular tech company. Only thing is that there's that kind of that market hour time, and then there's that after hours time, where which is how I usually segment my workday.
Great. So Daniel asks, he wanted to hear your thoughts on the potentials of decentralized applications and a faster or more secure banking system. What's the next big thing in trading technologies that excites you?
So, sorry, you said something about decentralizing. So can you repeat that first part?
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on the potentials of a decentralized applications and faster and more secure banking systems?
Okay, so banking systems. it's not something. It's not my area of expertise. I don't. It's pretty different from what I'm doing now at a trading firm. The next big thing. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I don't really have an answer to that question. I am relatively new to the industry. I think people are. There's always continuously new development, like better network cards and faster way to send signals from New York to Chicago, and I don't really know anything about the banking industry, so can't really give a great answer to that question.
So we'll have time for one more question today. So how do you find your internships? Because there's like the catch-22 where on one hand, to join a lot of these experiences, you need prior experiences. But then if you don't have any in the first place, it's hard to get started. So how would you deal with that?
Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier in my background section, my first experience was right out of high school. I actually worked for free for a few months. And people always say like you shouldn't work for free. You should get paid for your work, but it is very difficult to get that first experience. And if some startup they don't have too much funding to spare, you can contact them and you say, okay, I don't need to get paid, but maybe I can just pay like $10 an hour or something nominal. You can get that first experience, and then afterwards, you have that experience to find more successful companies to work with, and so basically just working for free. That's kind of my that would be my my last resort. If you end up not finding any opportunities, let's say your freshman year of college, then finding somewhere that you can just get that first experience in is very good.